Welcome to
Kingdom Love Unlocked,
where we help you get to
forever on purpose.
So today, guys, we're going to be talking about trauma, the effects of trauma, and also how it affects the relationship. So we're going to do a deep dive in trauma today.
So, Nick, can you start us off by explaining the neuroscience behind trauma?
Yes, I think that's important, Tiffany. So I'm glad you mentioned that. The neuroscience behind trauma, I think it's important to talk about first how trauma is found in your body, how it actually gets orchestrated in your mind, right? I think a lot of times if people don't have awareness about something, they don't understand it, it's hard to challenge it, it's hard to tackle it.
Yes.
Right? So the neuroscience behind trauma, what happens is trauma is when how your brain experience a traumatic event. Now, the issue is sometimes people don't understand what a traumatic event can be, right? It could be your mom or dad just saying, hey, I'm never going to come to your basketball games, sports games, or whatever, maybe football games because you're not good, right? And so that could trickle down into something saying you just don't feel like you're not good, you're not worthy in your life, in every area of your life. Or it could be your parents have said something like, I don't love you. It's just all the way you experience it, right? That's what it's all about, the experience. So what happens behind it when that happens, a traumatic event, you got something called your mind. The CEO of the brain is called the prefrontal cortex. It's located right behind the forehead. The prefrontal cortex, PFC for short. When an event happens with trauma, it goes offline, like turn the television off or a laptop monitor, and then your part of the brain called the amygdala takes over. That is the part of the brain that puts you in fight, flight, or freeze. Okay, have you hypervigilant, things of that nature. Prefrontal cortex, CEO of the brain, turns off. Amygdala takes over, responsible for emotions and your nervous system. Then you experience trauma. Now, the reason why people can remember something that happened traumatic 15 years ago, but can't remember what they ate last week, right, is because when a traumatic event happened, it gets seared in something called your hippocampus, which is responsible for memory. It gets seared in the hippocampus, and that's how you can recall that thing like it's happening currently.
Yes.
Right? That's why you have a lot of people, and especially veterans with PTSD, police officers, because it's like it's happening in real life. It's been seared in the hippocampus, right? The part of the brain responsible for memory. So I wanted to bring that awareness first because you have to know what the challenge and how your brain operates in order to tackle this thing. Because I think a lot of people don't have understanding. Again, they're afraid to kind of talk about it and not know how things work, right? So I like to bring that understanding.
I like that you mentioned that it could be something so small. It can be one statement.
Right.
I work with a lot of clients trying to help them get to the roots of what's going on in their lives so we can dismantle it.
Right.
And a lot of times it's something that happened back in elementary school, back in somewhere in childhood that's affecting their love life today, their business today. So I like that you went back. Sometimes trauma doesn't look like this huge thing happened to me, like this thing that sent someone else to jail. I was physically abused, bruises all over my body. I was sexually abused. Sometimes it looks like I was bullied. Sometimes it looks like I was not loved in my love language, so I never felt love.
Right. I was kicked out of a group. I didn't feel like I met the criteria to hang with these people. They rejected me. All that could be traumatic events.
Yes, that's so good. That's so good.
So now that we have the neuroscience behind trauma, right? Do we talk about a little bit more about awareness, right? Was we kind of covered that a little bit already?
Yeah, we can because I want people to know how it shows up in relationships. So give us an example of how a couple that is a marital counseling session that you've done, how has it shown up?
Sometimes it showed up in overreacting to what we may perceive as small things. Right.
Okay.
It could be also fear of abandonment and rejection. It could be avoiding intimacy, emotional depth, people pleasing or control.
That's
also
good.
Choosing emotionally unavailable partners. That's a big one. When you traumatize, sometimes your picker, as you like to say, is off.
It's off.
It's off. So you keep choosing these same people because you could have some deep-rooted trauma that you have not dealt with. Another way is difficulty trusting and receiving love. That's a huge one.
Yeah,
right there. Right? And so we was kind of talking about this earlier. When someone has been traumatized, it's like they have a dirty filter. So receiving that love that could be positive, once that message of love could be received by them, it goes through a dirty filter first. So by the time it goes through that dirty filter, that message is received in an unpleasant way. It comes off as being a negative statement when you could really be intentionally to do them good or say something positive to them, but they taking it in the wrong way because it went through that dirty filter first, and now they received the message the wrong way. So it kind of clogs your emotional and regulation system of your brain and your nervous system. Emotional regulation system is clogged. So just think about that. So you're receiving messages, right, the wrong way. That's why the overreaction to small things.
Yeah, and that overthinking. Like even in business, if you're in the group, people are saying, "Oh," and then I wonder, are they talking about me? Are they saying I'm not working good enough? Is it because of me? Do they think I don't perform well? And then with you bringing that up, I want to say one of the hardest relationships to be in is a healthy one after you left a traumatic relationship, after you left a toxic partner. Being in that healthy relationship, you start finding yourself doing the same activities, the same behaviors that toxic partner did to the healthy person. I like to explain unresolved trauma as this: an unhealed wound. Let's say I have an open scar, an unhealed wound. If it's not resolved, if it's not healed, then when I get to this healthy place, it's a healthy environment, but I still have this unhealed wound.
That's good.
So guess what? I'm going to bleed on them.
Ooh, that's good.
They're not responsible for the wound. The ex-partner did this.
That's real good.
But because I have not done the work, and I have not resolved that trauma, the next person gets the brunt of it.
That's so good, Tiffany. I was thinking when you said that, it's such a great example. You cannot compete with someone's childhood trauma.
No.
Right? You cannot compete with that.
You can't fix them.
You can't fix it.
You can't heal them.
You can't heal them.
No.
You can't compete with it. I love that example that you made.
Thank you. Awareness is so important.
Yes.
There is a really cool tool that I know that we both use in our services. If you can look it up, it's called the ACE study, ACE, Adverse Childhood Experiences. And so that kind of questions, it asks just 10 questions, I believe. And it's just asking about different things that you were exposed to in childhood that may have caused trauma in your life unknowingly. I like that, Tiffany. The part that you said is important is unknowingly. And those questions could bring it out. Because like I said, a lot of times when I see clients, they don't understand that they have been traumatized. Right? They feel like, oh yeah, my parents didn't get a divorce. I never seen domestic violence. I wasn't hit. I wasn't abused. My parents were nice to me. But that ACE study really lets them know that you still could have been traumatized. Maybe not in the home. Maybe somewhere else. Maybe some other experience. So I think it really gives us information that this person has been traumatized. And again, it helps me because they say, no, I never experienced any trauma. And their ACE study is like a 7. And that's pretty high for a study. So it really does help and brings awareness for myself that I can kind of help this client that they have been traumatized. Exactly. I like that. So we have a treat for you today. If you are watching this, you are interested in completing that questionnaire, you can look at the link in our bio and we have it for you there.
Yes. I think some important things to mention is that trauma left untreated, it doesn't disappear, it repeats.
Oh, it's going to show up somewhere.
Right. And you could love God deeply, but trauma still needs to be healed.
Yes. We believe in God plus therapy.
Yes.
And faith plus works. The Bible says
that is dead.
Exactly.
The work is going through trauma, right? Going through and trying to heal from trauma.
Yes.
Going to therapy, as you said, right?
Yes.
Going to coaching. Some type of way.
Yes. And the Bible says that the wise seek godly counsel.
Yes.
So it is true that you can be Christian and you can still utilize.
Right. With therapists.
Yes.
It's okay. I was doing that teaching and I was talking about that. I said godly counsel. It didn't say it had to be a pastor. It didn't say it had to be an evangelist. It had to be just godly counsel. So that means God also uses therapists.
And he sure does.
I'm a Christian, but I'm a therapist, right? I'm a Christian first, but I also do therapy.
And so I know both of us, we utilize both worlds in our coaching.
Absolutely.
In therapy. The spiritual aspect, because there's some things that is just only spiritual.
It's spiritual.
And then there's some things that, okay, you need to reprogram your brain because of this trauma that you went through. And so you have the training to do that, and putting both together, dynamic. So we definitely recommend that. Whether, even if it's not us, we recommend utilizing coaches and therapists.
Right. Absolutely.
So I know I talk to my clients a lot about reprogramming the mind. So that way when things happen, they're not going straight to fight, flight, freeze, right? Can you talk more about that?
I would love to. Reprogram the mind, rewiring the mind, neuroplasticity.
Yes.
Right? Neuroplasticity is really repeated steps to reprogram your mind. The Bible says, be transformed by renewing of your mind.
Yes.
Right? So that's what neuroplasticity is. Doing things over and over and over and over again until you actually kick that bad habit and then you bring in a new habit. Yes. That's what neuroplasticity is. We could really reprogram the way we think, the way we operate, the way we do things. So that is what it is.
So can you give us some examples of that?
Yeah. So if it's going to be, hey, neuroplasticity could be like, let's just say going to the gym, right? So let's just say I'm a person that say I don't work out. I have to reprogram my mind to say I work out every single day. When you tie things to your identity, you're more likely to stick with it. Instead of saying, I don't work out, man, I don't never go to the gym, I say, I am a person that do not miss workouts. Your brain hears that and it says, okay, we don't miss workouts. Your brain falls in line with your words.
That's so good.
Words gets are so in line with your words. You say stuff over and over again, just like it can be negative, it can be positive. Your brain will get in alignment with what you say. So once I start saying, I go to the gym every day, I don't miss workouts, your brain comes in line with what you just said.
I love that you talked about identity because trauma often impacts identity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think earlier you were talking about sometimes you become controlling, you have a need to control, or you become a people pleaser.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, I need them to like me because of that rejection, because fear of rejection and things like that, because of what you've gone through. So I think that's so good. A lot of times I utilize affirmations.
Yes.
And I think all affirmations are good and impactful, but I think the ones that are most impactful are the ones that are tied to yourself. Like how you said, I am a person that goes to the gym. It's very specific. It's completely tailored to that person and what they're trying to change. If they feel like they're not good enough, I am good enough because, you know, and so that way when your brain starts to overthink and go back and retract and you can't do this, you can't do that, you fight it back with that affirmation. No, I've been saying this 21 days. I know I am good enough because such and such and such. So just that retraining, that rewiring of the brain. So that's really good.
I think that's an important point too that you're making, Tiffany. The reason why we have to be transformed or renewing of your mind, right? That's like a daily thing. Because your brain is automatically set up to protect. Your brain is automatically set up to watch for negative things more than positive things, right? So it really looks at the negative things. So you got to rewire your brain to really receive and be more conducive to positive things. That's retraining your brain. That's neuroplasticity, getting your mind to be in a more positive mindset. So some of the things I like to do with clients sometimes is that I like to do gratitude journals.
Yes.
Just thinking about what you're grateful for, which is a form of prayer also, right? Just principle. So gratitude journal. What's 3 things you're grateful for? And we'll go into that. We're going to talk about 3 things they're grateful for. And all I'm doing, I'm just trying to get them to rewire how they think. If you have somebody with a negative mindset all the time, I get them to more so focus on what's positive. If I give more attention to what's positive, then I'm not thinking so much about the negative things. So I'm rewiring the brain. That's how some people can get that glass half full mentality.
Yes.
Right. So that's really neuroplasticity. It's really rewiring the brain the way it thinks.
I really love what you mentioned even earlier about the neuroscience, about how it affects your nervous system. Because a lot of times we have to remind ourselves we are safe here. This is a safe space.
Yes.
Even when we could be transparent, even like maybe disagreements that we've had because of the trauma that we've gone through in previous relationships. The brain's first thought to do is, oh, this person doesn't like me, or this person doesn't really love me, this person blah 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 blah, and you have to capture it. So even when you're healed, you can still be triggered.
Exactly.
And so you have to recognize, this is a trigger. Let me breathe through this and remember this person really loves me.
Exactly.
This person has my best interest at heart.
Right.
this is just a small disagreement.
Right.
This doesn't mean they don't love me. This doesn't mean I'm not worthy. It does not mean any of those things. Yes. And it helps you to calm that nervous system and react in a healthy way versus super defensive or super, how the fight, flight, or freeze is going to make you operate. Ready to go. I'm done with this. I'm done. Yes. I'm gone.
Right.
Or
put the wall up.
Yeah.
Put the wall up.
Or I don't even know what to do here, so I'm just gonna stay here. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna express my real feeling or fight. I'm just, let's go. You want to go? Let's go. Yes. You don't like how I do this? Let's go. Let's go. Tit for tat, just going back and forth. Right. Instead, I can sit back and say this. Recognize it for what it really is and calm my nervous system down. And now I can approach you and say, you know what, babe? I understand your perspective.
Right.
This is how I feel. How can we come to resolve? How can I say this better? I would prefer if you said this to me. This would help me too. And it's important to know each other's triggers.
Right.
If I know something that bothers you, I'm going to tread lightly because I love you, because I don't want to hurt you.
Right. I love what you say about your nervous system, because that's what fight, flight, or freeze is. Your nervous system has been triggered. As I mentioned before, the amygdala part of the brain, right?
Yeah.
And once it get triggered, it go into straight protection mode. And if you want to talk about a relationship, that's when the wall comes up. Protect yourself. What people have to understand is that when you're in fight, flight, or freeze, it's not just you actually in danger physically. It could be an emotional danger.
Yes.
When you feel emotionally danger, when someone says something in your body, your brain is like, I have to protect, right? And then you go into that protection mode. And so you in fight, flight, or freeze, which means to go back to what I said before. Once you in the amygdala, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of the brain, is no longer in charge. So that's why someone can actually say things without actually thinking about it. It's just a reaction. It's not a response.
It's impulsive.
It's very impulsive.
Yes.
So that's what part of the brain they're in. So again, you have to calm yourself down. Once you calm yourself down, we go from the amygdala part of the brain back to the prefrontal cortex. And now I can think logically, because that's what it's responsible for. And also I have decision making back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That I can pull from. Yes. And that's why someone can say, man, I can't believe what I just did or what I just said. Because they were in the part of the brain that was primitive part, right, to just protect. Now I'm back in my decision part of my brain, the prefrontal cortex. And that's what the nervous system, you have to regulate that by doing some deep breathing, things like that, grounding exercises.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of guilt and shame that comes from, why did I react that way?
Yes.
Why did I explode? Why did I just up and leave?
Right.
There's so much guilt and shame, but when you realize it's your brain trying to protect.
Right. And trauma that you actually, because once you start, why is a good question. That's good. People should ask, why did I do that?
Yes.
Right? And then that brings about where you're trying to understand what's going on. And so that's when we get to the part where, I need to research that.
Yes.
Maybe I need to go to therapy. Maybe I need to go to coaching. I need to talk to someone.
Work started.
So why is a good question. Right? So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Can you give us an example of a couple that you counseled where trauma was showing up unknowingly?
Oh, man, that's a good question. So I'll think about this one couple in which the guy, he came from a emotionally abusive relationship, right? Where he felt like he was being used a lot and he done a lot of different things. And he got with a woman that was actually she was nice. She was feminine.
Yeah.
He kept asking for that too. But whenever he would ask for that, he would lash out at her, right? And what it was is that because he had trauma from that previous relationship, whenever she asked for things from him to do things, he felt like he was being taken advantage of again. So he would just lash out at her and say mean things to her, cause her to cry, right? But then he'll turn around and say he want her to be soft. So it was a cycle because he was dealing with that undealt trauma. He hasn't dealt with that trauma from a previous relationship. She kept telling him and showing him she's a safe space, but he could not be vulnerable enough to open up to her because of the past trauma. Again, he was taking that unhealed sore over there to this healthy relationship, and it kept bleeding on her, right? And she kept crying because she didn't understand. She's doing everything she can to be nice to him, to talk to him nice, to serve him. But he would take it as she's trying to take advantage of him whenever she would request some things from him.
The brain is like, oh no, we've seen this before. You're just being nice to get something from me.
Right. And so he goes back to what I said into he got stuck, right? So he gets in that fight, flight, or freeze. He's no longer in the prefrontal cortex. He's in the amygdala. And so he starts to protect. He puts a wall up. And so now that he's not thinking, he says real mean things to her, very impulsive responses.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So what kind of things helped out?
So it's a good question. So the first thing I wanted to do with him was that, first of all, I was pointing out the trauma that he experienced from the old relationship.
Awareness.
So, yes. So I would always, whenever he would say something, I say, hey, that sounds like the old relationship. And I can understand why you said that, because based on the old relationship, bringing awareness, right? Retraining your brain, neuroplasticity, repeating these things over again, pointing it out. Because it was unconscious to him, so I had to make it conscious first for him to change the behavior.
Oh, right? That's good.
Then after that, because he would get verbally abusive, I dealt with his emotional intelligence. So then we've had to give language to how to speak to her in a nice way to get to what he wanted, the results he wanted from her. That kindness and her being dainty, her being meek, and her being and serving him and treating him nice. I had to give him the language how to speak and bring that out of her. So we had to talk about emotional intelligence. So that's why I worked with him on. And he was actually reading a book and everything about emotional intelligence. And he knew he needed that because it wasn't just for her. He realized that it affected his daughters too, because he had daughters.
Wow.
So he said,
it was spilling over.
It was spilling over.
Even
it was the same way.
Parents.
It was the same way, because remember, his daughters asking him for things too.
Yeah.
But he think he didn't take advantage of even by his daughters. So it don't matter who the person is. It's about how much this person been traumatized. He even felt like his daughters was trying to take advantage of him because he was so in fight, flight, or freeze, and he's been traumatized. So again, it don't matter the person you're with. It matter how much the person's been traumatized if that shows up. If you're not healed, you can have the perfect person in front of you, but you won't recognize it, and you won't receive the messages the right way because you got that clogged filter.
That's so good. That is so good. And then for her, it's like what you always say, you can't compete
with someone's childhood trauma or relationship trauma. You can't compete with that. They have to go do the work.
They have to do the work.
They have to do the work.
Yeah, that is so good. Thank you so much. Is there any last messages you want to leave with our viewers about trauma?
I just say just think about taking the ACEs assessment, because you just never know until you actually take the ACEs assessment or do the work to find out have you been traumatized or not. Now, especially for someone that feel like they keep choosing the same person in a relationship. You have a bad picker. Definitely want to take the ACEs assessment or go see a therapist, go see a coach, because I see a lot of trauma being prevalent in relationships and clients that they are not aware of. And I said before, you cannot address something you're not aware of.
Exactly.
You have to bring it to the consciousness from the unconscious to deal with it.
Yes.
Right?
That's so good. So again, we do offer services, coaching services for singles who are looking to do the work, to be in a relationship, to become married. We also assist those that are already dating and married couples as well together. So whether you get help from us or someone else, my final remark is to get help.
Get help.
Because you have to figure out what the thing is behind the thing. Whether it's you, we're looking inward. I do keep doing certain things. I don't like how I react when I'm upset or when I'm sad or when I fear or I have fear of being rejected. So I get in front of things before it even happens or I overthink. That's a telltale sign that there's something there that we need to work on. Or it may be somebody you're with that you see, they overreact. They're impulsive. And so I admonish you to look at the thing behind the thing. Is there something deeper here that's going on that we need to look at in order to strengthen our relationship?
Right.
It's so important that we get to the roots of what's going on, because you can have a seed that is going to develop a beautiful blossoming flower, a rose garden. But if we don't deal with roots that are around that, weeds can grow and destroy the beautiful. We don't want you to self-sabotage.
Right.
So it's important to do the work now.
Yes.
So that you can have forever on purpose.
Right. Right. And I would say, I like when you said, Tiffany, about the thing behind the thing. So I think it's very important to whoever you go see that they have a compassionate approach to your trauma.
Yes.
Why you do that? Like, that's not really compassionate. It come off as blaming and cause people to shut down. So I more so like to have what happened to you.
Yeah.
And so allow that person to tell their story and openly, so they share that with you, so they don't feel blamed about trauma. Because a lot of the trauma that happened to people, they did not cause it.
Right.
They did not cause the trauma, but there was a part of the trauma that was delivered to them. So just hope you have a compassionate person to deal with that trauma. That's what it would take.
Yes, I agree. Well, thank you all for viewing this video. We hope that we gave you some good substance to help you along your journey, your relationship, your love journey. Thank you for viewing today. We hope that you follow, like, and subscribe for more. Share it with someone you think that it would help as well. Also, don't forget that link to the ACE study is in our bio. So make sure you do that. And thank you so much for viewing us. And
thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.